Hi there. So today I have a list of topics that I want to share with you. So let's jump right into it. The first one is this one is written guidance, but this is about having a mentor, a coach, or a therapist that can go with you like accompany you through the journey. And why? Because of different reasons. And the first is guidance slash alignment. Okay, guidance and alignment, and this is seriously, I mean, it's not me trying to sell you my coaching course or anything because it's like I'm doing other thing. I'm super focused on playing camp, so I'm quite not available for this type of one-on-one processes. However, today I really was super grateful of having a person in my life that is helping me to navigate these moments of high stress, high intensity, especially if you are going through an obsessed period of time. It's really normal and common to feel alone, overwhelmed. There is many things going on sometimes, or there is a deadline that you need to push. So just like basic human understanding, and especially understanding, and especially on the moments where you feel you don't fit, like moments where you feel like the people around you are not resonating with what you do or the way you see life, or you are super focused, so you have like your goal and you're like obsessed with performing your goal and hitting your goal. And sometimes it's like the people around you that this happened today is like if they are complaining because they work too much, and suddenly you realize that they are sleeping 12 hours, so they are watching movies, so they are watching series. It's like, guys, I mean, I'm not watching series, I'm creating series here, like just making videos on the whiteboard. So just think about, and it's still like, it's 1:53 a.m. and I'm awake doing this. It's like, how crazy someone has to be doing this, or how genius someone has to be to believe so much on the message, right? So sometimes you are living in this parallel reality where people are not going to understand you, and this is the moment where you think like, who can I share this with? Who can understand this? And especially the nuances through the journey. And I'm super grateful because I have my friend is a therapist and he has been helping me so much. Like, we had a moment where we were in the terrace and I was high, and I told him like, brother, you are an angel. And he told me like, no, you are an angel. And we were like, wow. So we exploded, right? And he just messaged me, by the way, because we are coordinating a meeting for tomorrow. So this is how much we have love for each other. And something that happened today, so among my puke, all my suffering, and sometimes we complain, it's like I'm complaining because I'm in this victim mode and I need to go outside of my victim mode. And the way I do it is through speaking with someone else. In most of the cases, I can figure out what is going on that I'm not seeing, or that I'm like just frustrated at that point, right? So just speaking the things out, it just helps. And this is the part of being human, is having someone out there that is available for you. And ideally, I do it through text or voice note, or sometimes we call, but I know that that person is there and he's following my journey, and he's super happy for that. So this is amazing, and it's an intense journey. And I'm going to share this one with you as well, which is the one of it's never enough, right? And so there is this thing on Mindvalley. You might heard about Mindvalley because I've been preaching it a bit on the past, and I've been sharing some of the things that I do. Pretty cool. And there is this woman called Marisa Peer that she's a hypnotherapist, and she's super focused on you are enough, you are enough. Fuck. Sometimes when you are obsessed and you have like this huge, immense vision, it's never gonna be enough, and it's never gonna be on time. This feeling of being always late for life. Like, I mean, I'm 31 now, and sometimes I'm like, so in life I'm 31, and when I compare myself with this Zuckerberg or Elon Musk or whoever, and I'm like, wow, man, that they were 20 few and they were already there, millionaires, the business, everything. And then in the micro space, in the micro time, today is April, and I'm thinking I'm late for the summer because all the playing camp activities and all the things that have to be happening, or how now so many activities are hiring services like playing camp. I'm late, and it feels like a heavy burden on myself. But the point is, you are always gonna be late, which is so connected with this one. It's like you're always gonna feel that you're late. It's like and this one is pretty intense, because I was 20 years old and I was studying on the university. Maybe I was 18 years old and I was studying on the university, and I learned about Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget published his first article when he was 15, studying this type of animal that lives under the sea. It's like he was 15 and he published. So if your mind is framed like mine, which if you are watching this video at this time, you probably have a similar mind as me, and you compare with someone that is so above, or with someone that is such an outlier that he was so young and had so much success, brother, you are always gonna feel that you are late. And this is like, I don't know because it hasn't happened to me, but you might die feeling that you are late and all the things that you didn't do. So this is a good motivator, especially days like today. Like, okay, I'm going to sleep or not, or I lay down and I chill and I relax. It's like, brother, you are late, and you might use this on your advantage to push through difficult times, or to push through stages of lack of motivation. And this is so connected with you're never enough. And there is a part of you that doesn't matter how much hypnosis, meditation, brain wiring, whatever you do, it might feel that it's never enough forever. And if you have these huge, immense visions, you might feel like this. And then there is this, in the hypnotherapy, it's like, no, you are enough, and you deserve more. It's like, what if I'm not enough? And I deserve what I get at the end of the day. It's like, if there is something that I haven't received yet, it's like, I'm not there, so there's never enough. And there is all this law of attraction and this and that. Yes, it's good to connect with the feeling of, it's already here, I already have it, I am open to receive it. This is amazing. But at the same time, it motivates. And however, something like really interesting, which might be connected with this, and today, I do these videos also because they help me, okay? So something that happened today, it was like, I'm going to speak about this later, okay? Let's put an A. Let's call this limiting belief, which is like a very classic term, limiting beliefs. So today I found a very big limiting belief, and one of them, in Spanish we say llegar y besar el santo, which is like arrive and kiss the saint.
It's 2 hours.
It's 2 hours, so I'm not lying. So you arrive and you kiss the saint, and this means like you arrive to a place and something really good happened to you without you doing any effort. And this happened today, okay? So I was in this networking event. Okay, I'm going to explain it like this. So we had to share a story. They make groups of 3 people, and then we had to share a story about a moment of our life where our work was connected with positive emotions. And I shared the story of the rebirth of Playing Camp, the reincarnation of Playing Camp that happened in Bali when I organized a pillow fight. So I was in a romantic date with a girl, and I asked her, when you were a little girl, what was your favorite game? And she answered me like, I love to play board games with my sister. I'm like, board games? Like how young were you? And she was like 7 or so. And I was like, no, but this is more like when you were a little girl, like a little kid, like 4 years old. And she asked me like, okay, and for you? And I was like, for me it was like pillow fight with my brothers and my father. And the date went a bit sideways. And at the end, I got the feeling of, Carlos, you need to be more playful. You need to connect much more with your inner child, much more spontaneously. And I had all these thoughts on my mind bothering me. And I was on the scooter going to the co-working space, and when I arrived, I saw it so clearly. I was like, Noni, I know what we are going to do. Noni was my personal assistant, and I told her, we are going to organize a pillow fight. And she was like, what? I was like, yes, we are going to organize a pillow fight. And in 3 weeks, we bought the pillows, and I was going to the beach every day to fight with random people and to create content for social media. You can look for this. And after 3 weeks, I got super excited because I had invited all these people, and then it started raining and a lot of people didn't show up at the end. But those that show up, it was such a wild experience. It was so pure, so natural, that people looked into my eyes at the end of the experience and told me, Carlos, never stop doing this. Like, never stop doing this. Like, the world needs this. And there was these moments of connections of I understand now. And the huge, immense potential of playing camp is like, it's such a strong story. So today we were in this group sharing these stories, and I said this story, and the other woman was like, wow, with this story, like, wow, what can I share now? Like, my story is nothing. It's like, my story is I enter doing some internship in the job, and then my manager left, so then I got the manager position. I was like, wow, super, like, good luck. And then the other woman was like, after 20 years of working in the same company, I was able to build a human resources department and then like put more culture into the company of being more valuable towards the people in the company. And I'm like, wow, super. So the 3 stories were really, really different. It was like, mine was like pillow fight in Bali, and now from that, 1 year later, because this was the last year, now I'm in Madrid and I'm going to do like a big event with 50 people for Airbus. So it's like not only the pillow fight, but like the beginning, the spark of this, and how 1 year later, shit, I'm doing it. And then it's like a lucky streak, and then you get manager, and then 20 years in the same company, and you build the culture of HR. So, you know, it's like I arrived, I kissed the saint, and the blessings fall into me. But it's not like I arrive and I kiss the saint. It's like I was in Bali and I was in the beach fighting with the pillow fights every day, but to do content, and come on, it's like 1 year. It's like 1 year of non-stop working to arrive here. It's not that I arrive and everything falls from the sky. It's like 1 year of work. So my limiting belief here was like not owning my place of authority into this interaction, because and also diverting the attention and wanting to uplift people around me. Like, no, your story is very nice, and no, your story is really nice. It's like, Carlos, self-respect. It's like, I mean, it's so connected with this one. You will see now, self-respect. It's like, even, I'm getting a bit frustrated. I'm going to upload this video, but now even this, I'm starting to understand self-respect into a different level. Like, I need to upgrade my quality so much. So whoever watches any of the future videos, they're gonna be like, fuck, this guy has his shit together. Because I'm like this, but look at the play cap, it's looking way much better. Because I'm just increasing my level of self-respect, right? So we are doing these 3. And then the organizer of the event arrives and he's like, hey, Carlos always speaks too much, eh? And he had a point right there, because I was speaking about the book that I published. Like, how many stories do I have? So he has a point, and the point, which is really connected, is silence. And it's so immensely connected, because this silence is one of the things that I want to train my public speaking. Like, how to keep the people's attention, how to grab their attentions and keep it in silence with the self-discipline, and I believe even what is written here, with the respect, with the self-respect of owning silence. So what happened in the story is like, this organizer come and he's like, ha ha ha, and he says like, haven't you decided yet what was the best story of the three of you? Because we had to choose, because after deciding these three, we had to go on a stage and share it for everyone. And I was like, I mean, from the beginning it was my story, which is another lesson for strategy, you know? Strategy, Carlos, strategy. You know what's the lesson for strategy? Silence. You know, I've been listening to this podcast about Putin. You listen, receive the information, and then throw. You know, you blow. After it's all a battle. I mean, if we want to play to this, it's all like a play fight. So you observe how everyone is playing, and then you join. So yeah, it's a strategy. Be calm, be quiet, be silent, and then at the end share it. So then the impact is even higher. But I share it first, the story. My mistake. And then this organizer arrived and he's like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to think about a random number and then you're going to say the number from 1 to 10. And I'm like, guy, it's always 7. It's like, from 1 to 10 it's always 7. There is no other way around. And then I'm like, fuck no. Like, and I was like, sharing the merit of the different stories, you know, like diverting the merit of these stories. Is like, no, they had chosen me. These people, they had chosen me already, but I didn't own it. I mirror it back. I reflect it back. So you guess what? I was the third person into saying the number, and I knew it was 7. So this woman said that, anyways, why leave at random this type of decision? And why is such a trigger for me? Well, I was calling myself stupid, like quite strongly in my mind. I mean, but there is two: rejection and recognition. This is what me and my therapist, we have found so many times. And I feel in this case, I didn't got the recognition of the story. You know, of they choosing my story. And this is, I mean, you can see my ego here, like my big or little ego, as you want it. And it's not rejection because it was luck, but it felt so unfair, and I had such a surge of pain and wrath. Wrath is like anger, you know, like this fury. So I was very useful. If you are watching here, I'm going to share with you a technique that is working for me to manage my anger in these type of situations. So you breathe in and you breathe out all the air, and then you hold it. And you breathe normally. So I did this like 5 times just to calm my system down, and I was looking at a single point and I was like observing and managing my emotions as while I was trying to not pay too much attention to my negative thoughts at that time around the situation, because then I enter into judge and I enter into distraction mode. So I was managing my emotions while I was thinking, Carlos, it was so easy to take the control of the situation and to say, okay, before we go into the numbers, what if you two say which story do you prefer, and what if we two say the story we prefer, and what if we two, you know? So it was as simple as taking the control and the ownership of the situation. And this, my friends, is this word, authority. Like authority, at the end of the day, is not such an ugly word, autoridad, because it comes from autor, and autor, it comes from auto, like auto de fe, and auto, it comes from act, actor. I'm pretty sure about this. I will have to check the etymology, but I'm pretty confident of this. First of all, I'm an author. This is a book. This is a book I wrote today. Well, no, I mean, I read it today, but I wrote 2 years ago. 2 already? I need to write another one. It's an act. Like, I'm the actor, I'm the author. So I need to own much more this. And I had a very good conversation. Well, anyways, before we jump into the conversation, we're going to go to thinking while I was being there, like, okay, how can I forgive myself as quick as possible? How can I jump back into utilizing as best as possible this networking event, which is full of HR people, right? Because that was my big opportunity for me with the Playing Cup. And that's why I was so angry. Like, Carlos, you missed the opportunity. However, there is always an opportunity. And since ever that I've been in networking events, you just raise your hand and you ask a smart question. And then people go and speak with you, right? But this was even better because then the organizer asked the question, like, okay, what's happiness for you? And when I went there to explain what was happiness for me, brother, the room was quiet. The room was quiet and looking because I was speaking, and it's my expertise. At the end of the day, I studied positive psychology and happiness and all these things. Man, that was good. So yeah, and the Playing Camp is an amazing project and people love it. So it wasn't that difficult at the end of the day just to go there and to own the room. But yeah, today even better, how can I own the situation just by being? Because, I arrived to the bar and people go, Carlito. And I'm like, how are you doing? Am I already famous? Am I already famous? So it's just directly this too, I'm not being rejected and I'm being recognized. It's like, okay, am I already famous? And it feeds my soul and my ego and my everything. So I just love it, right? Yeah, and people remember me and people start checking all these websites that I'm building and all these videos and everything. So I will be more conscious of what I put online from now on. But if you're watching this video, enjoy it because there is not gonna be so many as this in the future. So, and just to go for the conversation because it was such an interesting day. So, we are going to come back to this point right now because it's really connected with many other things. Oh guys, you are here for a treat, eh? It's the second whiteboard, congrats. So we are going to go to authority, but first, much better, huh? It's even readable. But first, we are going to go to kids. Because today, I was in the supermarket and I go outside of the supermarket and I see a mother with a little kid. And the kid is like, Mom! He's like crying. And I'm like, okay. And the kid is like, you drink from my water, Mom! I was like, wow. Like he was truly hurt that the mother had drunk from the water of this kid, allegedly or apparently without the permission of the kid. And this is like so genius moment. And I'm like, okay, what happened? And then he go like, she drank from my water. And the mother said like, yes, because for once that I drink from your water, you are always taking my things but never share yours. And I'm like, wow. And then I think like, okay, what to say to the kid? You say like, no, sharing is good. No, it's okay, it was just water. Like, okay, let's analyze the possibilities. Sharing is good. Okay. This is the lesson. But this goes way later. The other one, it's just water. Like, this is bad. Like, because it's not just water. It's just water. No, it's not just water. For that kid, at that point, at that time, it's not just water. It's just the sensation of taking. Like, he felt robbed, he felt raped, he felt stolen. So it's not just the water, it's the feeling. It's like you took something that belonged to me. You took my possessions without my permission. You just overcame my limits. It's like you overcame my limits. And because you're physically bigger and you are stronger than me, I cannot do anything. It's so disempowering. It's so frustrating. Like, I can empathize so much with the kid. It's not just water, it's my fucking limits and my being and my things and my belongings. It's my ego. It's like you step on my ego. You pee on my face. It's this level of, it's not just water. So at that time, what do you do? How do you de-escalate the conflict? Because that's the huge lesson here. How to de-escalate the conflict. And I didn't know how to do it. And that's why I'm sharing it with you now. Because it helps me to reintegrate. And I'm not 100% sure of this as a model that works. But it makes sense. First, you empathize. You empathize. And the good point of being a kid is like you need to empathize with the kid. And the kid needs to empathize with you in this state of you just pee on my face. You know, but then you need to empathize and he has to understand that you are empathizing with him. How do you do this? You do this with a story. And even better, you do this with a story of yourself. You do this with a story of yourself in the same situation, because there cannot be two people in the angry boat. If you get more angry than him, if you get more offended by him, he will chill down. And then I thought, like, that's it. And you can come up with a story instantaneously. It's like, yeah, she took your water, eh? Pues look at me, like, today I was there and then I had a juice. And then this person come and takes my juice and then he goes with my juice. It's like, and they took me the juice. It's so full, like, I totally understand you. And it's so annoying. And then it's like, wow, another human being that understands me. Thank you. Because rejection, I'm not alone in the planet. I'm not alone in the world. And this is your ego defending itself from the fear and the danger of being alone. So the moment that you empathize with another human being to this level of, it just happened to me even worse, it was the best juice ever, and I had 2 juices and they took both of the juices. Boom! Now we empathize. I mean, okay, depending on the beliefs that you want to install on the kid, because it's like, okay, people come and take your juice, it's like, okay, maybe. But at least it's like, you empathize with that little human being, and the little human being is like, thank you. Thank you. So step number 1, empathy. Now, step number 2, which I learned this today in the podcast of Andrew Huberman with Adam Grant, super good one. Step number 2, you ask the kid for advice. And this is genius. You know why? Because so how can we do now that I'm so angry and my friend took the juice? How can we become still friends? So how do we do? Because I still want to be the friend of my friend, but he took my juice. What can I do? And then what the kid is gonna say, like, it's okay, maybe you can share the juice. It's okay, maybe you can go and tell him, please, give me my juice. Or why do you take my juice? Understanding, please, like respect, communication. And you say, wow, and how can I ask him that? Like, what should I tell him exactly? You can tell him that you didn't like that he took your juice and that he is thirsty and wants juice, then he can ask you. And then he can tell you, please give me a little bit of juice, and then you can give him some juice if you want, and you are friends again. And you are like, wow, thank you. You acknowledge, wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm gonna do this right now. So what do we do with your mother? What do we do with your mother now that he took your water? That she took your water? What do we do? Yeah, she can ask me next time and then I can share with her. And then you can go to the mother and say, okay. And what your mother said, like, do you always ask her about when you took her water? Yeah, not always. Sometimes I took her water and I don't tell her anything. It's like, yeah. So how does your mother feels about it? What do you think? Maybe she feels like you are peeing, like you are peeing on her face sometimes, as you were feeling 5 minutes ago. Maybe. And then he can empathize with the mother. Brother, 2 steps. You empathize with the person, with the story, and then you ask the other person for advice. What should we do? What do I do? Oh, yeah. And what do we do with you? Oh, yeah. And what do we do with the person that was offended as well with you? Yapa! We are getting into Nobel Prize soon. We get some years of non-violent communication in front of me. Anyways, going back to non-violent communication authority. So I'm having this conversation at when I leave the networking, and it's this woman that is telling me, like, Carlos, it's super good that you close a deal with Airbus. However, like, I haven't received money yet. That's why I don't like to speak too much about it, because until the money doesn't arrive, relax, because they are paying 1 month afterwards. And he's right. And this is like my own it and my authority, and this is why I'm going to work on building the website of Carlito Fluido and creating better content around this. It's like, give me half of the money, give me 1/3 of the money, give me something, you know, show me that we are doing it, because otherwise I'm not respecting myself, and I'm not respecting all the work that I've done. Like, yeah, it's sad, you know, because the Tao has a very good term, like a very good chapter that says, like, when love disappears, respect appears. Like, the rules appear where the human understanding disappears. And it's like, I mean, if you are human and I'm human, we don't need respect, because I'm going to do as much good to you as my consciousness and my awareness allows and understands. You know, if I do something, it's for your benefit. That's love. But respect is like, we are going to distance from each other and create a set of rules and agreements, so at least we don't harm each other. And that's why I never liked respect. So it's just me healing, you know, how come with respect comes the authority, and then it's the moment that I am. If I want to be an author and I want to be someone that is important, I just need to respect. And obviously, if I'm going to demand respect from other people, I just have to ask for respect for myself. So appear on these clothes is extremely comfortable, guys. Like, you cannot imagine how comfy is this. But I might not be respecting all the work that I've done in my life so much when I appear like this. And probably this video, it might be the last one of others that I will be with better clothes and everything and much more setup. But my goal is to end up doing videos like this. I don't know why, but ideally I can end up doing videos like this, like, just, you know, being relaxed and tranquil and sharing all this information, right? And I'm going to share one lesson more from today. Yeah, it's like more leadership, and and the silence and the stops. Okay, I'm going to finish with this one because it's one of the most funny, and how it can how it relates with everything. Okay, maybe not the story of the kid, but with the rest. Yeah. So once upon a time, Carlito Fluido had a physical theater company called Raining Rosas. Okay, Raining Rosas. And maybe But the time that you are watching this video, you can go to the website of Raining Rosas and it looks super nice, and maybe Raining Rosa is alive when you see this video, because I still have the hope that I can recover this, because Plain Camp is as a product from Raining Rosas, and actually, what the fuck. Like, Raining Rosas is the legal name of the company that I have. Plain Camp is a registered brand under Raining Rosas, so it exists, but as a legal entity today. So under Raining Rosas, which used to be this physical theater performance company, there was a piece called Testosterone. And Testosterone was a piece that I was speaking about it for years. Like, at least from 2017 until I published it in 2020. That's like 3 years, at least. Speaking about one day I will create this piece, one day I will create this piece, one day I will create this piece. For years and years, collecting ideas. I created the piece, but it's so funny. So I came up with the whole speech for the piece in one night. And this is the magic of art. Like, in one night, I put the voice recording, I sit naked looking at the sea, and I talk. And the whole script of the piece was done. In one night, just talking and improvising. Done. And this was in English. And then in Spanish, I don't even remember, but I believe I wrote it. But also, I wrote it in one night or maybe 2 nights, something like this. So, by 2020, this was in September. So I premiered this one in September in Brussels, and I premiered this one in November, before going to Zambia. And this is 2020. So in 1 week, I made the whole show in English, and in 1 month, I made the whole show in Spanish. So in 1 week, I made like 20 minutes of piece in English, and in 1 month, I made like 1 hour of piece in Spanish. And I wrote it, I choreographed it, I memorized it, I designed the costume with the help of my mother, and also the scenography. So, the story here. The Applauser man, okay? Applauser man. So I had this joke with a very dear, good friend of mine called Kostas, a Greek guy, which was like, one day I will do this piece in a huge theater, because for the end, okay, this isn't a spoiler, but if you're watching this video, you really like my content, or at least me, so you deserve to know the spoiler. So, in case that I don't do it. So at the end, I had imagined like there is a net full of condoms that are full of air, and at some point the net starts opening and these condoms are like floating like this on the air, and they fall like snow. And this is like, you know, the last image of, you know, how many times a person has sex in his life, or with how many people. You know, it goes all around sexuality, masculinity, and things that I will for sure be cancelled if I speak too much about them. But if I do them in a theater, then I don't get cancelled, then I get rewarded. So that's why theater is still the way to go, more than all this media. Anyways, the joke was like, imagine that this image happens, the curtain's closed, and then okay, then it was even better. But then, like, all the people start to appear, like all the people that have participated in the piece, like the choreographer, the dancers, the light, the technicians, everyone appears, but not me, you know. And me, I'm the guy that wrote it, directed, and likely performed it. Everyone, but me. And then everyone leave, and everyone is expecting like, okay, now is the moment. And people have been applauding and clapping, like, imagine, for 10 minutes already, because more people keep on coming out. but not the star, because the star, recognition, the protagonist came at the end. And then, instead of me, my friend Costas appears. And he appears like clapping, like thank you so much, thank you. And everyone is just like clapping because of the inertia, right? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay, we are clapping at this guy, and this guy is the applauser, man. Because he's just like, his performance at that point is just to applaud and to receive the honors and the recognition and everything. And Costas is such a nice guy that he's just perfect for that. And for me, it's like the ultimate joke ever. And this is like how twisted is my ego. That the day and the moment that I can receive the highest level of recognition and acceptance, I reject it. And I give all to the applauser, man. It's like, how twisted is the mind. Like, you work so hard for years and for all your life to get this recognition. And then, the moment that you have it, to say like, no, thank you. And this is so much my pattern. This is such a psychological pattern. And it's so intricate that it happens with women. Actually, with women, it's like, I like women until they like me. So, it's how twisted the whole mind and church it is. So there is something to heal here on my psyche that I don't know. But I just felt that I wanted to share this with you guys. So, still, I'm enjoying a lot my life. And ideally, one day I can do something like this. Because it's still in my mind for a reason. And until today, I have manifested everything that I said that I was going to manifest. And we keep on manifesting. So now I'm extremely focused on this. So I have to put all of this outside of my mind. Maybe working a bit on this so it doesn't mess up with this, making it happen. But yeah, I like the fight, and this might be related with the I'm never enough and other beliefs. But I like it. And I've been speaking more than half an hour non-stop. So thank you very much for your attention, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope something of this can be applied to your life. And if nothing, go to therapy. Keep on understanding your own being. And empathize with kids. It's really fun. And ask them for advice. You will have huge, beautiful insights. Much love, guys. Keep on playing with each other.